All right, all right. Hello, Gun Nation. It says we are live. We got a couple of people on already. Dennis Buckner, hello. And Insight Freedom, long time no see, man. Appreciate you being here. Hope you are doing well. And I get, are you doing YouTube still? Insight Freedom, if you are, let me know. I mean, man, YouTube is screwed. Like a lot of the people who used to follow, I can't remember everybody I used to follow, um, but they killed a lot of my, I guess, subscriptions. Like I don't know if they just boot them out or what. Okay, you are doing it somewhat. Cool. Got about 9 others on here, it says, but I hadn't seen any. Oh, there's Brian Duchesne. Hello, Brian. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, and I kind of wanted to talk about what we're seeing at SHOT Show and just some other stuff, and of course you see the title of the chat, why settle, and we'll get into that in a minute. Hello, Dirt Track. Hope you're doing well. Dan Marr, Floridians in the house. Good deal. Scott79. Just so y'all know, I am in Amarillo, Texas this week. Way up there. So, yep, it was foggy as hell coming out here on Monday. I could only see like 20 yards ahead of me on the highways. That's how bad it was. And then yesterday, the fog was horrible. Even driving around here. And today it wasn't that bad. It was kind of misty, but it wasn't as foggy, so I could see. And I'm hoping it's not going to be foggy tomorrow. Hello, Bradley. Rusty Taylor's in the house. Oh, okay. All right. Lost several years with life things. Understand they silence many of my notifications. Fixed mostly now. I'll go. It won't let me subscribe to you here, but I'll go back and I'll write. So I'll go back and sub to you. I didn't know if you quit doing it, and that's why it killed the notification. I didn't know what was going on. And I know a lot of people said, man, I was notified, or I've been subscribed to you forever, and I'm not getting any notifications. I've heard that 1,000 times, even for myself. So YouTube does, YouTube things. Hello, William Carter. How are you? Lake Ozark guy, Pistol Pete's in the house. But, yeah, I've had a few interesting, not super, one of them's kind of bad, happened here at a restaurant, and we'll get into that in a minute. Hello, Rich B. Hope you're doing well. Is anybody seeing any exciting stuff that they're really excited about with the new SHOT Show? Or y'all like, oh my God, I got to get that? Are you super excited about something? If you are, throw it down below. And I didn't know if y'all saw at the very top of the chat, y'all can scroll back up. Y'all know that I've been testing and kind of working with Armsman's Holster. He's been a subscriber of mine forever. And hell, I didn't even know he made holsters till, gosh, what, a year ago? Or maybe a year and a half ago. But anyway, I've tested 2 of his holsters already. I've got 2 more that I'm testing. So far, so good. But anyway, just for my subscribers, he's not paying me or anything like that. But he's going to do a special deal for my subscribers because, hell, he's been a subscriber of mine, I think, for like 5 or 6 years. But for y'all, he is doing, if you use code BJGG, 10, BJGG10, all capitalized, you'll get 10% off your order, whatever it is. Plus, he's giving free shipping. That's pretty damn awesome. So if you need any holsters, he makes a ton of light bearing. You can get like cool patterns and stuff like that. And I want you to guess which one I'm testing this week. I've got a community post with both of the holsters on there that I'm testing, but I'm testing one of them this week. So I want you to guess which one I'm testing. Go in and check the community chat. But yeah, Hollow Sun does have some interesting things. I don't know if y'all saw it. Did y'all see that? And I had it written down. Did you see the AEMS Max? It's their big, man, that thing looks like it's that freaking big. It's like bigger than a like a Vortex Huey. It's bigger than a holographic sight, a EOTech. The thing is huge. But the thing is, it's monstrous, but only weighs 8 ounces, supposedly. So what are the Texans saying about this BS Supreme Court decision? If the federal government won't secure the border and has restrictions of local government, man, I say we keep on it. Arrest them. I mean, think about it. You are invading another state, a country. You're invading. If we were going to invade another country and just walk across their borders and sneak in, that's invasion. That's my opinion. Um, Hello, Palindrome. How are you? I've made a lot of videos lately. Need to make them public. I would have 1 million subs. I bet. Smith and Wesson lever actions. I actually had that written down right here, Palindrome, and I was going to get into it. We'll go ahead and get into it, and also I'll answer Scott's question because I had it written down as well. This is my opinion on the Smith and Wesson lever gun, and I'm not trying to knock anybody that likes it or anything like that, but in my opinion, I'm not real pumped on it. Smith and Wesson makes some great things, such as revolvers. I mean, I own 3 of their revolvers. I've had M&P pistols. The lever gun is not their wheelhouse. You've got Marlin, you've got all these other people that do that, and I'm like, it's just my opinion. I'm not trying to beat anybody up that likes it, but I don't see that lasting the long haul with Smith and Wesson. I just really don't. That's just my opinion. Let's see here. MP7 at home from PSA. That is pretty damn cool. Potentially 40 rounds of 5.7. And I know a lot of people say 5.7 is not that lethal. It's not that lethal. It's more reliable than 22. Long rifle, more reliable than 22 Magnum because it is a centerfire cartridge. And that would be a hell of a lot of bees coming at you, especially in your dome. That would not be a good day. So I think it's kind of cool that they're doing that. Yep. The Staccato C, I had that written down as well. I think it's, if y'all remember, when I shot the CS, that's Threat Cadre CS. For me, probably not for other people, I thought it was too small in the grip. I thought it was too short in the barrel, just for my hand size. I know 99% of people probably love it, but I just thought it was too small. And I even told Threat when I was shooting his, I said, man, I wish the grip was longer and I wish the barrel was longer. And he said, well, that was way back when. He said, well, what do you want to see? And I said, man, if it was like a bigger, just a longer mag, a longer grip, and like a 4-inch slide, I think it would be perfect. And that's what they made. So I think it's good to have the offering. So now you've got, the smaller CS. Now you've got the C. And then, of course, you got the C2. So you can just pick your poison. And I think they kind of went, this is just my opinion, I think they kind of went after the C2, or excuse me, the CS, and now the C for like LE, off-duty carry. I don't think it's going to be a duty weapon, but like off-duty carry, I think that's what they're going after. And of course, concealed carriers. So I think it's cool that they did that. Like I said, it's just another option. And yeah, the Holosun thermal is kind of cool, the pistol thermal. The thing that I kind of like about it is it's a day optic and a thermal. If you want to kick it on and turn it into a thermal, supposedly, that's what it's going to be. Price point, who knows? Is it going to be the end-all be-all for a pistol? No. But where I could see it shining is if you have an LPVO and you use it as an offset mount or a top mount. To have like a little small thermal. I think that would be pretty cool because a clip-on thermal that goes on the front of your scope, man, some of those are like 4 and 5 and 6 and 10 grand. Now, of course, you're not going to get the distance with it, being that small, pistol thermal, so to say. But it's kind of cool. Yeah, I saw that CZ released the CZ Scorpion with 22. I mean, I love 22, so that's a cool option. I won't be getting one, but I think that is a cool option. Yeah, and I think that everybody's going after lever actions of the because of like how they were booming and they were like $2,500 and all this other stuff. But I think a little bit of that is playing out now because I've been seeing the lever actions decreasing that used to be like $2,200. Now they're like $1,700 or $1,600. And I love lever actions. They are so cool. It's kind of an old school look. But and if you want to modernize them, you can use Ranger, what is it, Ranger Precision, to really retro it out. I mean, not retro, modernize it out. But I don't know. I kind of like the classic look, and I like the super modern look. And it looks like Smith and Wesson's kind of going after a middle ground, which I know they'll sell them, but who knows? Brian is saying PSA is the only company releasing anything somewhat cool. PSA has bought a local gun store that I can't wait till they officially open up after making a major facelift. Yeah, I remember you saying that, and that is cool. And yeah, PSA, man, I mean, they are doing some very cool stuff. They're kind of listening to what the people want and trying to make it. And I think that is really cool. Some might be fails, some might be successes, but it's other options. I like what they stand for with their 2A stance. American company, American made, guns, putting American workers to work. I mean, no argument here at all. Matter of fact, I wish they would actually put a PSA store in Texas. I think there would be a huge demand for it. Daniel Defense PCC, I saw that, but Oh, that is Armsman. He was just texting me. And again, like I said, at the top of the chat, if you want a great holster and save 10% off and free shipping, he's doing that for my subscribers. So I think that's really nice of him to do that. Oh, Pistol Pete. Yeah, I didn't see anything from CZ, supposedly, but like I talked about before, this is not their show. What I'm meaning is they cater to, the European market. So, after SHOT Show, there's a European show. So I think that's where they might show everything. I don't think they're going to show it all here. So either it's not ready or they're saving it for their European show. And then, of course, it'll leak over, with James Reeves and all that stuff. So I don't know. A revolver rifle with a cylinder. Yeah, I know some. I can't remember who's done that. I've seen some of those, and they're crazy. Oh, Pistol Pete saw a CZP10 photo. New grip looks like the M&P 2.0. Yeah, that is good. On my P10Cs, I have the original, the OGs from the Czech Republic. Mine are not U.S. made. My P10F is, I believe, but my 2Cs are the originals, and they're the super aggressive grip that some people whined about, saying it's too aggressive. Anyway, I'm glad that I have those because I do like them, and I like the more aggressiveness. Velodrome, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people were giving input on that, so they probably took yours into account, mine into account, and Threat Cadre is on the green team for Staccato, and I know he did say after I had said what I said that he mentioned it to them, so maybe we all had play in it. Did you see Turkey's video of the Smith & Wesson lever gun and all the big name YouTuber reviews? He told it like it is. He made some good points. Yeah, I had already formed an opinion and told some of my buddies about it when we saw the release of it, and I was like, eh. And then, yes, I did see Turkey's opinion, Tom's, and I agree. I mean, he's not wrong. I've shot a lot of lever guns in the past. And, of course, when they get really broken in, of course, your lever is, you can really work it in. But there's some that you can get, like, and then some of them are higher priced, but you can get some out of the box. And I mean, they're just butter. Um, so it might break in, it might not. Now, I didn't see any of the trigger stuff that he was talking about, that Tom was talking about, but, you know, there's Armsman. He is in the house. Nice to see you, sir. Hello, Rodima. Hope you're doing well. Yes, Armsman's asking, any thoughts on the DD H9, the Daniel Defense H9? I think it is a cool option for someone who wants that gun. Me personally, I played with the original Hudson back in the day. Um, it just didn't do much for me. I'm not saying it's a bad gun. The new one might be a lot better. I know Humble did his review, and maybe I'll get to shoot his. But for me, it just doesn't do much. Even if it's a great revolutionary, shoots great, and all this other stuff, you know, at the end of the day, it is a striker fire, 9 millimeter. It could be end all be all. It's got the low bore axis because your finger's way down there, or excuse me, way up there. More even with the bore. But I run a lot of pistol lights. Y'all know that. I just choose to. They're not a must-have. I just like them, and I carry a handheld too. We talked about that. But if you put a light on that gun, even Daniel Defense has sunken it a little bit, kind of raised it up. But if you put a light on it, it's literally going to be a paddle, and I don't need that. So it's got a pick rail. I'm sure some people will run a light on it, and I'm sure there'll be holsters out for it. But like with a light on it in an inside waistband, that thing is going to be that wide. I mean, it's just going to be huge. And I don't mind big guns, but the width is what can get you when you carry appendix. So, yeah, supposedly Insight, from what I understand, they changed a lot of internals. So I'm not saying it's 1,000% changed, but supposedly they didn't change some of the internals. So I don't know if they will just match right up. Hello, Chessboard. How are you? Hello, Lynn Holt in the house. Palindrome, I have not seen that one. I have, or maybe I have, and I just didn't really pay attention. I've been seeing a bunch of stuff come across. That doesn't ring a bell, but maybe I saw it and didn't know what they were calling it. Give me cheese graters. I love cheese graters. Hello, A-Dubs. Oh, here we go. Rodima's getting one tricked out. P10F and 45 ACP is at the gunsmith right now getting a makeover. Bronze slide, tan frame, cut for an RMR, and stippling makeover. Awesome, man. That's awesome. I still want to shoot one of those. I hadn't shot one yet. CZ AccuShadow 2. It is a very good gun. This is just my opinion. I actually prefer the Bull Shadow. But they're both great guns. But the Bull Shadow is really cool. Oh, Lake Ozark is saying they only have one part from the old H9, so I guess there is a lot of stuff that's changing it up. Hello, Jess. Everything. How are you? He said, hello from Oregon. Got myself a Masterpiece Arms DS9 Commander. Off your review. Loving it. Oh, that's awesome, man. I appreciate it. I still love my Masterpiece Arms. Really, really love it. I've got, matter of fact, and I want to know y'all's opinion. And even after the chat, if y'all want to go in, because these comments don't stay. So please, if y'all can remember, go after the chat. I'm going to be taking some people to shoot that have only shot rifles and shotguns. Some of these, I think there's one, two, three of them have never, ever, ever shot a pistol. Never. So, what I need y'all's help with, I already kind of have a plan, but maybe y'all can really lay it out for me. Y'all know a lot of the guns that I have, but there's going to be 3, 4, 5. So, there's going to be 6 of us, including me. So, and 2 of my family members, of course, have shot pistols, rifles, and shotguns. But the other 3 have only shot rifles and shotguns. Or take that back. The 2 men have only shot pistols and shotguns. The woman has never shot a gun, ever. So I need y'all's opinion on what guns I should bring to let them try, because now they all want to be carriers. All of them, because I've talked about it, got them pumped up, and they see what's going on, and they're all on our team. So this is not a negative thing. They are all pro-American people too. They're like, we want to do the right thing. So what pistol should I bring? 22s, 9 millimeters, AR-15s, 300 blackouts. What should I bring? So, and again, if you put it in the comments here, it won't stay. So after the chat, if you could go back in there and type things in, or if you're watching this after the chat is live, please let me know your opinions. Yeah, Armsman is saying, other than PSA releasing a ton of product, I haven't seen anything impressive. There's nothing that's knocking my socks off yet. And I was just fixing to say what the Lake Ozark guy is saying. Langdon Tactical has some new PX4 options, which look good. I agree with that. Those Berettas do look pretty good. The only problem I've ever had with Beretta, especially all their compact models, is the grip's not long enough for me. The full-size Storm with that magwell, that might actually work. Not saying I'm going to buy one, but that does look pretty cool. That's what I was thinking too, Bradley. It could be an issue. William said, oh, here we go. William said picking up a CZ Custom Shop Shadow 2 compact on Friday. That's awesome, man. I think those are great guns. I really do. I really do like the Shadow 2 compact. I think it is a fabulous gun. The only thing I don't like is it doesn't have the extended safety on the left, and you can carry it, half cocked. That's the way a lot of people should carry it. But I just like that thumb over there so I can ride my thumb on it. That's made, once I flip it off, I want to ride it like a 1911 or a 2011. And the Shadow 2 full size extended safety will go right onto the Shadow 2 compact. So, and I've got other Shadow 2, so I could just pull one of those off and stick it on the compact. But I put the compact in my hand, and it's pretty small for me, but 90% of people are going to love it. And like I said, I really do like the gun a lot. Trigger's awesome. Even the stock trigger's great. I wouldn't even do any work to it. Oh, Rodema, okay, says Big J, I'm considering getting my first 2011 looking at Bull Armory. Bull Armory makes great guns. They really do. Fabulous guns. I've shot many of them, and I like them. The only thing I don't like about them is the mag compatibility, because Bull Armories take their own proprietary mag that doesn't fit my other 2011s. So, not that that's a problem, but I like to load up on mags, as y'all know. So I would be going out and buying MBX makes mags for the Bull Armories, or of course you can buy them from Bull Armory, but then I'm loading up on a whole nother mag. So it's just, it's just the way I am. I can't just have 2 mags or 3 mags. I'm just not that guy, because the first thing to fail over a period of time are the mags. And I've had 2011 mags fail before. So I got to pull the guts out of them. The followers are usually okay, but the spring has lost its tension over thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds. And you can just buy a new spring, throw it in there, and you're good to go. But the factory 2011 mags fit all my 2011s. So that's why I like it. That's another reason I probably will not buy the C with the extended grip, is because those are proprietary mags for the slims. Hello, Steve L. How are you? Says, good evening. Really look forward to the DDH-9 Striker metal guns. I'm not a thumb safety guy. Gotcha. And Pistol Pete says, shoot your 22s in the shadow too. Okay. All right. Have them shoot the 22 rifle suppressed as well. Yeah, the crazy thing is here's what I kind of don't want to do. I don't want to be the guy walking in with bags after bags after bags, or pulling in a wagon, or pulling in my shooting cart just loaded with 9 million things. I don't want to overwhelm them. I want to give them kind of a even kill, and maybe start low and work my way up and see if I can freak them out. Or if they're like, oh my God, this is crazy. Or to look at me and go, wow, do you need all that stuff? They would never do that because I know them very well. But I think that's pretty funny if that would happen. Yeah, Palindrome is saying start the new shooters with light recoil and suppress stuff. And I do agree with that. And that was kind of my plan, but I definitely want to work them up. Redbird says, bring it all. Yeah, I hope you're doing well, Redbird. Yep, I'll go ahead and show this. Not going to read it because I'll get whacked. But there you go. Yep, that was another thing that I had written down right there on the bottom. Lynn Holt says, I'm beginning to look at Stealth Arms Platypus and custom 1911s and 1911 all alloy, all calibers, and takes Glock mags plus bull barrel. Yeah, since they've added the bull barrel, that's a big plus for me. So, and now they have 357 SIG. If anybody wants it, it's still a very viable caliber. And 45, which is really cool. So you could actually have a double stack 45. And I'm really glad that they did a couple of things. And I had told Humble this way back when. I said it needs a bull barrel and it needs a wider plate, molded into the rear of the slide. And that's exactly what they did. So now it's got the RMR footprint, a bigger footprint, so you don't have to run a micro dot. So that opens it up to bigger windows for people maybe with poor vision. And then also you have a bull barrel. And they have a new grip. I don't care for the grip they had on it before. It was really slick. It looked cool, but it was really slick. They have a new grip option, which is supposedly really aggressive. Humble talked about it and showed it. I had seen it on Jeff with RDR gear. He had already shown the Platypus with a new grip, and I was like, I like that new grip because it's way more aggressive. The other one looked cool, but it was just kind of, I bet the way when I felt it, it was not aggressive at all. So looked cool, but I need some pain in my hand when I shoot. I mean, I need some grip. Yep, Rodamom right there with you. I have about 10 or 11 mags. Hell, don't even get me started on AR-15 mags and 300 blackout mags and AR-10 mags. But also when you go to the range, I know it's more expensive, but when you go to the range and you have all your mags preloaded, and you can work on things, you can do things. You're not sitting there just reloading mags. Not saying that's a bad thing if that's what you have to do. But and not my range, but some ranges like charge by the hour. So if you're loading mags for 30 minutes and you're shooting for 30 minutes, not that you can't get a lot done in 30 minutes if you work properly and do what you need to do, but still, I just like having extra mags. Yeah. Brian, I mean, a lot of people like metal mags. I mean, I have nothing against Glock mags. They work. Some of the aftermarket Glock mags don't work. I have some P mags. I guess they're Gen 1 P mags, and I don't like them. I even have some 34 round Amend 2 mags that I ran in my PCC. I tested those. I tested them in my Glock pistols. They worked okay at first, and they started failing left and right. So I just don't trust, aftermarket mags. And the ETTS mags, those clear ones, don't even get me started on those. Now, I had the Gen 1 ones, and they were hot garbage. Doesn't want to have to clean suppressors after going 22 through them either. Come on, Insight Freedom. You should know me, man. I don't clean a lot of stuff unless it gets too bad. I like to push stuff to failure. I'm only 155 days waiting on a Form 1 SBR for my SIG MPXK. Crazy to me this process takes that long. I didn't think Form 1s were taking that long. I thought they had sped them up. Because I've had some guys that have done Form 1s, and they've gotten them back like in a month. Now, this was fairly recently. Apparently, you've had yours in there for a while, so maybe they've just blown you off, but that sucks. Hello, Abigail. How are you? Yeah, it is. And it's a bribe tax. It is a freaking bribe tax. You can go straight down and put mufflers on your car or your truck, and that's no big deal, but you can't put a muffler on your gun without a bribe tax. It's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. So stupid. Hello, Ranger 10. I would say this: take multiple trips, starting with a single platform, pistols one trip, rifles the next trip, then SBR, take their thoughts from each trip, then work on their carry platform. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm already going to take iron guns. Yes, I still own some iron-sighted guns. So I'm going to take some iron-sighted guns, and we're going to go, like I was thinking, 22, and then go to iron-sighted guns first to give them, line everything up, proper, gaps, proper air, and then, everything lined up to teach them the basics. And then move them to a red dot and see what they think about that. Yep. One of the first shots shows that 300 blackout isn't being pushed, and I agree with you on that. They're pushing the 6 arc, the 6 max. That's the new hotness. 300 blackout's not going anywhere. I think it's just kind of an understood. I did see one 300 blackout upper, but it wasn't that impressive. Matter of fact, when I saw, I'm not going to call out the name of the company, but it had some ghetto ass parts on it. And it's nothing I would trust, but that's just me. Yeah, I like metal mags, and FN does make damn good mags. Factory mags, yeah. I mean, I have tons of factory mags, and then I have aftermarket base plates, extended power springs, and I do have good luck with those. Not perfect on some of them. I actually had one of my P10F mags. I put a +5 on it with an extra power spring, and I've got a video way back, and I'm shooting the P10F. This is when I first got it, and I was like, bang, 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 and all of a sudden it quit feeding, and I'm like, what the hell? And pulled and dropped the mag, and all the browns were just falling out, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Took it all apart, shined a flashlight in there, and where they welded it, there was a burr. There was a little tiny freaking burr. And as the follower was going up with the extended power spring, because otherwise it would have bottomed out because it was near the bottom. It would have bottomed out, but since I extended it with the extension and the power spring, then it was hitting the burr. So, and that's what was happening. It was hitting the follower, and the follower was getting stuck on the burr. So I had to take it all apart, took a little file, filed it off, polished it. After that, perfect. And I was pissed at Shield Mags because I'm like, what in the hell? And I was almost going to blame them. I think I did in the video. And I did come back and say, no, it wasn't their fault. It was a burr in the mag. And those were made by Metgar, which makes incredible mags. But anything can happen. It was the tiniest burr. But little shit like that can cause problems. So always test your gear. Always. Abigail, I'm drinking water tonight. That's what I've got, a bunch of water. wish I had me a nice glass of whiskey, but don't have that tonight. I don't drink a ton, but I do the chats. I do like to enjoy a beverage. And Lynn, not saying there's anything wrong. Like I said, it straight pull rifle. It's not in my wheelhouse. I have rifles. It's just not a setup for me. 300 Blackout 350 Legend or 458 Bushmaster for a hog gun. 350 Legend will do it. 300 Blackout will do it. 350 Bushmaster will definitely do it. It just really depends on what you want. If you want to shoot suppressed, definitely 300 Blackout. Any of those would be sufficient. I like 308 also. I mean, we got some big ass hogs, so you got a lot of stuff to penetrate when you hit them in that thick ass backstrap shit. I mean, it's like a sheet of armor on those suckers. I have popped one with a 7.62 by 39, and I mean, it was a perfect shot. It was like right back here. I mean, it should have dropped anything, and that sucker ran 200 yards. We found it, and I witnessed it. All my buddies were like, holy shit, that was an incredible shot. And the damn thing ran. Now, of course, it's got adrenaline. It was a big ass hog. So, I mean, anything can happen. But, oh, damn. With a 308, it probably would have knocked its head off. But Insight Freedom says pistol. Hello, Casey Dolph. How are you? Half a gallon of water today. I mean, that's a lot of water. I mean, hell, actually, I probably drank a half a gallon of water. I was thinking a gallon of water. I don't know if I've drank a gallon yet, but I probably will by the end of the night. Yeah, I agree. They are way over. They're definitely proud of them. I haven't heard of that, Brian, with the extreme defense and failures to feed issues. I have not heard of that. Not saying, I mean, anything's possible. Let's see if I did. We already talked about PSA. Talked about the lower gun. I wanted to say that Humble Marksman and Chris from the 740 are doing really good SHOT Show coverage. So if you haven't checked those guys out, please do. They're putting out some good stuff. So Humble's getting some pretty good interviews and stuff like that. Also, what did y'all think about the Radian Afterburner and Ramjet for the 365? Anybody interested in that? And they've made it for the Glock 17, or they're coming out with them for the Glock 17. Anybody that has a 365 excited about that? Don't know if you are, but. And again, if y'all need a great, holster, light bearing holster, Armsman at the very top of the list. He's given out all the subscribers a really great code. You can use BJGG10, all caps, BJGG10. That'll save you 10% off your whole entire order and give you free shipping. So that's a pretty awesome deal. Oh, okay. Seiko and Tika actions are nice. They are. X-Ring Seiko rifles. Yeah, those are nice. They have a new ranch rifle that looks pretty interesting. That's cool. I didn't see that one. I'll probably have to go back in and check that out. A lot of those videos during the day and stuff, I have a hard time keeping up with them. And then at night, I'm busy doing stuff, and I'm trying to watch as many as I can. I do like the shorter ones because I can just kind of get in and out sometimes. While I'm driving, I'll even listen to them and things like that. Can't see everything, but I'm not dumb. I know what a lot of stuff looks like, unless it's, something that you need to look at and go, oh, wow, that's pretty revolutionary. I think it's pretty cool. I did want to, this happened to me last night at a restaurant. I went into a restaurant. I'm in Amarillo, Texas. If you've ever been to Amarillo, Texas, there are cowboys, ranchers that drive a lot of trucks. There's a lot of horse trailers. It's a big cowboy, good old boy group town, a lot of nice people here. I went into a restaurant last night and, walked in. The hostess was there and said, "How many people?" And I just said one. And I said, "Can I sit at the bar?" And they said, "Sure, that'll be great." And I said, "Well, thank you, ma'am." Well, apparently it's not a ma'am. And I was walking, and when I said, "Well, yeah, thank you, ma'am," I was just being polite. That's the way I am. Um, that wasn't the right thing to say, apparently. And I got a really nasty look. I was told I'm not a ma'am as I was walking, and she was, or I don't know, this person was telling me all this. I was just like, you know what? I don't get all this. I'm too old for this shit. And I just turned around and walked out. And I went right next door to the other place. So, I don't know. But like I said, I'm not trying to make anybody mad or whatever, but I can only go by what I see. I don't know. So anyway, but that happened. That's the first time that's ever happened to me, personally. I've seen it on videos and stuff, and I'm not the guy that's going to film a video. That's stupid. But that happened to me for the first time ever. So anyway, I was just like, okay, I don't need this. So I left. But anyway, that happened. So let me catch back up. Palindrome is saying radiant's too rich for my blood. Yeah, I get it. I mean, a lot of people don't want to buy the Radiant Afterburner or Ramjet. I get it. But nobody guessed out of the two holsters which one I'm carrying this week. I thought that was, I asked that at the first of the chat. Maybe I didn't catch it, but for the Armsman holsters, he sent me two newer holsters for two different guns. So y'all can go in the community and look at those if you want to see what they look like. Because, of course, we're not supposed to show it. And guess which one of those I'm carrying this week, if you want to, if that's fun. Yeah, I saw that. I know that they make them for Glocks, I believe, and it goes on to the X300, and they make them for the Berettas. I've never tried one. I think 1776 has one, and he's got a video on it, and seems to work pretty well. Mileage. I drive, to get out here from where I live, from North Dallas area to where I am in Amarillo, it's like 5 hours and 20 minutes, something like that. But yeah, I'm putting a lot of miles on. I've done 1,200 in 4 days before, 12 or 1,300. That's not normal, but I definitely drive a lot. Clyde Cumberland saying, can I get away with one suppressor, or is it best to do a caliber specific hush cam? 308, 300 blackout, or 5.56? Yeah, I've given my opinion on this, and I think everybody should buy a 30 cal suppressor. I have shot a specific 5.56 can on a 5.56, and then I've shot a 30 caliber can on a 5.56, my same 5.56. Honestly, I couldn't tell a bit of a difference. But if you buy a 5.56, you're stuck with a 5.56. So that's why I say get a 30 cal can. You can run 6.5 Creedmoor. You can run 300 blackout, 308. It's much more diverse. And I've got it set up where my 30 cal can, I can run all my big boys. And then, of course, my 22 can, I got it so I can run 22, 5.7, 22 Magnum. What else can I run? There might be another one I'm missing. My brain's kind of fried right now. So, but that's, I mean, I always say go with 30 cal can, in my opinion. I don't really care for the 45 cans, um, you know, because it's kind of it fits everything, but it's a master of nothing. But a lot of people run them. It gives you a can, but that's just my opinion. Armsman said he had a similar situation in Walmart. Yeah, but in Amarillo, Texas, I mean, I've been to Oregon, I've been to all these kind of places, and I kind of expect that. But I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, M. Gabriel, I saw they were voting on it, but I didn't see what the outcome was, or I thought they were voting on it, but I didn't see the outcome, so I don't know. Oh, you already knew. You already knew you're a cheater. Armsman knows it is my Glock 19X. I'm carrying a Glock this week, so there you go. And that is an airsoft unit, YouTube. That is an airsoft unit. That is a complete airsoft. Jess said, I started training with a piece of black tape over my red dot inclusion. It trained me to use it properly with both eyes open. I wish I had started this way. Would probably benefit new shooters. Yes, I've talked about it before. It makes you target focused. So it's an included, or I think it's inclusion or included red dot. Um, Electrical tape is kind of sticky. So I definitely prefer to use painter's tape or something like that because it's not as sticky. Some of that stuff's hard to get off if you get it on the glass. And if you press real hard, you can actually move your glass out of your optic. So be careful with that. And don't use any paper towels or anything crazy on it because it'll scratch the glass on some of them. So use the little microfiber so you don't get any scratches, and pop it out real good because dust can cause scratches. Um, it doesn't impede your vision, but when you look at it, it looks kind of janky, but it won't hurt it. I mean, it'll still work fine. But yeah, it does work. I've done it before. I've got videos where I've taped them up completely front and back and had no sights and just point shot. So you can do different things that works for you because if you tape the front and the back, it'll actually get it'll help you bring it up to your eye line. And that way you can check to see if you're holding the pistol properly or if your toe or your muzzle up or muzzle down, in case like you had mud all over your dot and you couldn't see or any of that kind of stuff. It kind of keeps the level of the pistol good. David is saying, I've been thinking of getting a CZ pistol. Which one is it? Full size? And I'm wondering if they can handle plus P and plus P plus. Yes, I've shot plus P and plus P plus through all of my CZs. If you want a full size striker fire, it'd be a CZ P10F. If you want a full size double action, single action, that would be a P09 or a CZ Shadow 2. Or, you can get a single action one too if that's what you want, a Shadow 2 SA. I mean, they're great pistols. So it's whatever you prefer. But yes, they will shoot plus P and plus P plus. I don't shoot a lot of it, but they will handle it. Or I've put it through it. I don't know if I should have, but it worked great. So, all right. Russell Young says, "Hello, I'm from Katy, Texas. I've never shot a gun. I bought my first one a couple of months ago, Mossberg 590 retrograde, and I plan on adding a pick rail and a thermal red dot." Oh, there you go. I mean, nothing wrong with the 590. I love the 590. 590 A1 is my favorite tactical shotgun. So great choice. Got you a good gun. It looks cool too with the retrograde on it. Now, are you going to be hunting with it? Because I don't know if you really need a thermal for home defense or just at the range. A lot of the thermals, they don't recommend using them in bright sunlight, so be careful with that. I would put a red dot on it, not just a thermal, but I'd put a red dot. and you can just get a small, like a Holosun 507 or something like that, and they work great. But yeah, I love a shotgun. Nothing wrong with that. If you shoot 308 through a 223 suppressor, then that'll be good for 45.2. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. M. Gabriel. Everything can handle a few rounds of plus B plus. Yeah. Yeah, the PO9 is a very underrated pistol. A lot of people kind of don't like them because they're polymer, but man, they're great. They're great pistols. I love the PO7. I own two PO7s, and I love the PO9. I own two PO9s. So, and the prices on the PO7s and the PO9s have gone way down. From what I understand, they're discontinuing both of those. So if you need to get a great double action, single action, you really can't go wrong with those. And the great thing is your PO9 and your P10F mags, P10F and PO9, those mags are compatible, and both of those mags will fit in a PO7 or P10C because they're longer mags. So that's another reason. Y'all know I have two P10Cs, I have one P10F, I have two PO7s and two PO9s, and all of those mags are compatible. All of the longer mags are compatible with all of those guns. So with those guns, I probably have 15 or 20 mags, kind of extra. So that's a good thing too. Ooh, yeah, slam fire. There you go. No, they do not. They do not make the SPO1 Phantom. I never really cared for that gun that much. I know 1776 had a little fun with his for a while. I think he ended up getting two of them. He got one, sold it, got one, sold it. Not saying it's a bad gun because it's not. But the thing I didn't care for it, honestly, is the top of that slide was so damn small. And with my mitts, it just didn't work. So it was just, and not that, normal people couldn't. I just didn't really care for that gun. And also, I preferred the Omega trigger over the curved trigger that the Phantom had, where the Omegas are the longer, flatter ones. The Phantom had the curved trigger like the old PO ones, or like the standard PO ones. Yeah, there was a rumor for floating around for a while that they were going to bring it back for like a year or something, the Phantom, but I never saw it happen. So, yeah, Taylor, they didn't do it at this SHOT Show. I think they're saving it for their European SHOT Show. God dang, I got a freaking leg cramp. Yes, it does. Milling in dots definitely help slide manipulation on CZs, especially your CZ75s, even your Shadow 2s, any of those variants for sure. PO7 has a little thicker slide. P10F, P10C, they have a little thicker slide. So it's not so much on that. It's most of the 75 ones. And the PO1, that slide's freaking really tiny. Yep, the Saber bolt action. I heard I thought they were coming with that. And as far as like what PSA is announcing also, or talking about what they want people to vote on for upcoming guns, I definitely would like that 308. I think that's pretty cool. Now, whether they make it or not, who knows? But, I know we run into all of these, exotic type rounds that everybody's liking, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with them. But, man, for a proven 308 round, it's really hard to beat a 308. Not because I'm a 308 fanboy. It's just you can find it anywhere, like at some of these little gun stores. You can find them. Just, you can always find 308. Sometimes you can't find 6.5 Creedmoor or 6mm or 6 arc or any of that. Sometimes you just can't find that kind of stuff. Oh, I didn't see. They did come out with supposedly the Rock compact version also. Supposedly they're dropping it. I don't know, but supposedly that's supposed to happen too. But I didn't see that they made. I didn't actually notice it. I haven't watched any of the new rock videos, but ooh. David is saying, what would you guys and gals recommend for concealed carry? Man, there's so many options. I'll let everybody give their opinions, but there's so many of them. You know, it's if you want striker fire, double action, single action. You know, I've even said, depending on how you're going to carry, if you're not a proficient carrier or if you're a new carrier, to have that extra bit of safety, there is nothing wrong with double action, single action. Because when you're putting it in the holster, you can hold your thumb on the back of the hammer to make sure, you know, just press on the hammer as you're putting it in the holster. If you feel any backlash and that hammer's moving, that means something's pulling that trigger, so something's stuck in there. So there is nothing wrong with double action, single action if you're going to carry appendix. A lot of people will say, you don't need that. But if you're not perfectly comfortable with what you're doing, I highly recommend that. Now, what I've always told everyone, and just as I showed that airsoft unit just a second ago, you'll notice it's in the holster and it's sitting there. So what I do is I pick that whole unit up, I look at the dot, I don't take it out of the holster, I just look at the dot, make sure I'm good to go, and then stuff it right in there. Now, if you're at the range, you're doing manipulations, you're drawing from your holster, you're going to be removing it, putting it back in. Always look it in the holster, you know, just to be on the extra safe side. But, you know, with the double action, single action, it does give you a little extra benefit. So never a bad thing, especially for a newer shooter. Bradley, PSA is talking about, that was one of their offerings, you know, to vote on, was a compact 10 millimeter. And Glock came out with a compact 10 millimeter also. I forget is it a Glock 29 or Glock 30 or something? I can't keep up with all the damn numbers they have. Smith & Wesson Shield Plus is a good option as well, and the price on it is really great too. So, and yeah, Abigail, that's a great question too. You know, because in the areas I travel, you know, they're more city oriented. It's not a rural area. If it was a rural area, you know, well, put it this way, if I was in bear country, that would be a whole different thing. However, some of the guys, you know, or people that you see, some of them are the size of a bear. So, you know, I mean, plan accordingly, I guess. My next purchase will be a semi-auto shotgun, something mid, higher end recommendations. The Mossberg JM Pro is a great shotgun. I'm a big Mossberg fan, if you can't tell. The reason being is you've got the tang safety. You don't have the little stupid push safety. And I'm being sarcastic. Those have worked for 100 plus years or whatever. But with my hand size and my finger size, I don't like the thumb safety right at the trigger guard. And I don't recommend that for a newer shooter either. That's why at the top on a Mossberg, you have the thumb safety. And it's, you know, basically ambidextrous. So it works for a left-handed person or a right-handed person, where the little push button one, like on your 870s and Berettas and stuff like that, they just don't work very well for a lot of big-handed people, or if you're wearing gloves. I actually saw this happen when I was pheasant hunting with one of my uncles. He had gloves on because it was cold as shit. And he went to put his safety on and had it rammed his glove near that. His finger fell off and popped the safety, or popped a round off. Now, nobody was in front of him. It was downrange. However, I'm like, dude, that is just not good. Now, granted, it was an accident, but accidents can happen. So with the tang safety, you're not putting your finger anywhere near that area. So that's why I highly recommend Mossbergs for new shotgun shooters. Not saying you can't shoot an 870, and you can get some good deals on them, but I would say the Mossberg JM Pro, great shotguns. Yeah, the PO1 is a great EDC. I mean, PO1 is a fantastic gun. It went through all the NATO testing. I mean, that is a bulletproof gun, but it's just not user friendly for some people. Yeah, I agree with Abigail. I really won't carry any gun under a Glock 19 size. And really, the Glock 19 is too small for me. My pinky hangs off, but that's my problem. Um, and even on the P10C, but I run a +2 extension. So without a +2 extension on the P10C or the regular 19, I can have some problems. So all I'm doing is extending the grip, and even on a Glock 17 or a Glock 34, the factory grip is too short for me. That's why I carry the Glock 19X, because of that stupid tab they put on there that everybody bitched about. That actually helps me because I can rest my pinky on it. And if you don't know, when you shoot, I can shoot a gun without having my pinky on it. But your pinky is what gives you leverage to crank down on that gun. So kind of having your pinky on a gun is a benefit. 22, it doesn't matter. 380, really kind of still doesn't matter that much. But when you're rapid shotting a 9mm, not that that has a lot of recoil, but it does help when you can crank that pinky down there. Rock Island, they're not bad guns. The only thing you have to be careful with is some of the mags. The mags can be hit or miss, and also on the Rock Island, there's a lot of sharp edges, like on your safeties. There's a lot of burrs, jagged edges. You can actually buy a Rock Island, and then you can send it to Hayes Customs in Texas, and he can completely make that a freaking race gun, or deburr it is what he calls it, where he shaves all that mess off there. It's expensive to do that, but he can make that a really awesome gun, but it's going to cost you some money. So some of them can be finicky. I've also had to have I've seen some of them that have to be reamed because the ramp is not correct and the barrel is not correct for all ammo. Like some of them will run flat nose, but they won't run round nose. So they can be finicky. This has been over a process since they've been out. They could have corrected all of that on their own, but I would just be kind of cautious. I totally agree with that, Palindrome. He carries a Staccato C, but single action isn't for everyone. And I agree with that, because it is a manual of arms working that safety that you're going to have to learn. If you don't feel comfortable with it, that's a whole nother ball game that you're going to need to learn. And I grew up on 1911, so if you ever watch me shoot a striker fire gun, you can watch all my Radian videos where I'm shooting in slow motion. You can watch my CZ P10C videos. Every time I present the gun, this thumb is high, and you'll see me slide it down even on a striker fire gun, because that's ingrained in my brain to flip a safety down. The thing is, with a 1911 or 2011, I'll never forget, because the safety's there. With a striker fire, my thumb is simply moving and nothing's there, so it doesn't matter. But if you train yourself to always hit at safety, whether it be on a striker fire and there's no safety, or on a double action, single action, and there's a decocker that you're not going to hit anyway, or a striker fire that doesn't have a safety. If you train yourself to do that all the time, you're not going to miss a safety if one is there. So you can watch all my videos. I've had people go, "What the hell are you doing with your thumb? Why is your thumb sticking up in the air? Why are you doing that?" And then sliding the thumb down the side of the grip. I've actually had people comment. I'm like, "I'm used to running manual safeties." And they're like, "Oh, I get it." So and then I've had people respond back going, "I've never shot a single action gun, so I am not familiar with safeties." So the way I look at it is, if you train on a double action, single action, I think everybody should have a single action in their collection, a double action, single action, probably a revolver, striker fire. That way you are familiar with all types of guns. Now, it could be an FN striker fire, a Glock striker fire, a CZ striker fire. It's a damn striker fire. So they're all the same animal. But when you get into single action and double action, single action, and even decockers, that's a whole different ball game. So I recommend having it in your collection, so you're familiar with that. In case something happened and you had to use any of those, or even grab someone else's gun, you know how to use it. So never a bad thing. Benelli makes a great shotgun. Again, I just don't like their safeties. Yeah, Genesis Arms is no joke either. Matter of fact, that is the person that has my old PO1. Donnie has been a friend of mine for a long time and a follower. Matter of fact, he was one of my subscribers. We began talking, and I was going to sell my PO1, and he is the lucky contestant who got it or bought it. He has since sent it to CZ Customs. They tricked it out for him, and I had extra lock grips for it, and I gave him those. Shockwave, yeah. I've only shot one shockwave. I shot the very first one, the 12 gauge. It was one of the very first ones that came out when they released those. I mean, it's a cool little shotgun, but a lot of people don't know how to aim it. You know, I've seen people like hold it way over here. I've seen people hold it like right here, which you don't want to do. You know, a lot of people don't know how to hold that bird's head because it's just so weird. So, but once you get used to it, I mean, you can be pretty accurate with it. It's just a weird little thing. Yep, it can be very critical, and you know, like, well, and I've said this statement before. There's no wrong or right if you have to get in a altercation, so to say. There's no rules. There's no, oh, hang on, pause, I've got to reload. There's none of that crap. Or hang on, I've got to load one into my chamber. If you're carrying with an empty chamber, you're carrying a freaking stapler. You're carrying a paperweight. As a matter of fact, staplers are loaded. So yeah, you're not even carrying a damn stapler. You're carrying a freaking paperweight. So you're not going to have that time to go, hang on, now let me rack around and let me turn off the safety and let me do all this. You're not going to have time. Now, I mean, you can have time to flip off the safety if you've got one in the chamber, but what I'm trying to say is carry one in the chamber, always loaded. Don't do the rack around thing. And I know there's a lot of newer people who aren't comfortable. You know, we've all been there. They're like, oh, you know, I feel weird about this. If you rack it, don't touch the trigger, carry it in a proper holster, proper gun belt. 90% of guns won't go off. I'll just leave it at that. You know, but, you know, just don't carry an empty chamber. I know that just can't be a good thing. Let me catch back up here. Clyde is saying, if you purchased a 45 ACP today, what would it be? If I purchased a 45 ACP today, being honest with y'all, it would probably be a platypus. Not saying I'm going to get one. I've got 45s. I love my Staccato, or excuse me, my STI 45, but it is a single stack. That is I think that's going to be a great option. Or if you want to go the striker fire route, FN. They make fantastic pistols. So the FNX is a fabulous gun. You've got what, the FN 10 or whatever, FN, whatever it is, not the 10 millimeter, but they have a new 45 version for the striker fire. But the FNX hammer fire is a fantastic gun. It's just kind of a thick boy, and a lot of people are like, holy shit, this is like holding a 2x4. So, but you really can't go wrong with the 45 Tactical. It is a great pistol. I've had two of them in my lifetime. I had the Tactical back before it was even a thing. And I had the FNX 45 that was the black and the tan, but it was not the tactical. So I've owned both of them, and they're great guns. But during the situation, I just didn't shoot it, and you couldn't get them at that time. And I had somebody who really, really wanted one, and pretty much begged me to sell it to him, so I sold it. And he offered a very good amount for it. That's the only reason I sold it. Because today I could go buy another one. He didn't have any patience, put it that way. AK shotguns, huh? Yeah. Yeah, that's actually really good, Palindrome. He said shotguns without a stock is like a bicycle without handlebars. Not for me, thank you. That's actually pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird. It is definitely weird. It's a great gun. The the Winchester SP or SXP, they had problems when they first came out. That was a long time ago. I think they worked those out. But I have a buddy who has one, and he really loves it. Like I said, I'm just a huge Mossberg fan. They are American. I mean, through and through. So, yeah, Scott, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I mean, I own one, the CZ79BD. I mean, it is a fantastic pistol. Just wish I could put a damn dot on mine. But I've already asked 3 different companies. The first one told me no, so that's why I kind of left it at that. And then I've talked to 2 other companies, and they're like, man, we just can't do it, to where it's going to be correct. And they don't want to do ghetto work, and I don't want ghetto work because you can't buy that gun anymore. So that's why I haven't done it. But I do love that gun a lot. Yeah, Brian, you know what color it would be if I did get one. Mine would probably be the only one in that color, dominantly. Put it that way. Yeah, I think it's a cool offering. I think it does allow a lot of customization. Um, you know, I think it's going to be a very good option for a lot of people, and I do like it now more so with the bull barrel. That was my only like, and I have plenty of guns without bull barrels, but they're more of a precision barrel like FN. They don't push a lot of the bull barrels because their barrels are cold hammer forged, but they're also precision set. But if you get a 1911 style gun slash 2011 without a bull barrel and it doesn't have a crown on the front, or excuse me, it doesn't have a bushing on the front, you can get a lot of wobble. That's what happens to some of the cheaper 1911s. So I've seen that happen. And I wouldn't want to buy a gun that did that. Russell says, I'm disabled, plus with stage 4. My body's fatigued often, sometimes in a wheelchair. Still, I train even with my wretched medical conditions. That's awesome, Russell. Russell, I appreciate it, man. That's awesome. You probably even train more than me because I freaking travel so damn much. Green, purple. Richard guessed it. It would be a lot of orange. Oh, thank you, Russell. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was on Turkey's opinions chat last week. If y'all, I appreciate everyone who's coming over from that channel. Um, yeah, we had like a two. God, how long did that go? I think I had like 3 or 4 shots of whiskey during that chat. I mean, it was just a relaxing chat. It was a late night chat. It was a fun chat. We got into a lot of different things. So if y'all want to go check it out, you can run over there. Yep, Ottoman knows me too. Yep, Tread, appreciate that. Yeah, y'all hit that thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Oh, kidney disease. Ooh, man, yeah, stage 4 is not good. But it's about 8:14. Any other questions or comments? Anything y'all want opinions on? I didn't really get into it, but what I was looking at and why I named this chat "Why Settle." I guess we can get into that. I've never hadn't brought it up yet. Why settle is meaning if you've got money in your pocket, and this actually means a lot of different things. Why settle for something that you really, really don't want? Whether it be a job, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, whatever, a gun, a specific, type of gear, a particular flashlight, a particular pocket knife, whatever it is. Okay, car, truck, whatever. I know sometimes budgets, we have to plan accordingly. If it's something that you don't absolutely have to have at that particular moment, why settle for something inferior that you know that you're not going to like? And that's where I go with this. I'm not saying if it's a gun that you've wanted or a piece of gear that you've wanted for a long time, and you're like, okay, I could get this one, and this is the one I really, really, really want because, of the fabric they use, the material, the way they sew it, the longevity, the whatever. This is the one I really want, and it's $500 more than what this one is. Don't buy it. Don't buy it at that particular moment. Wait, save up your money, do some more, fact finding, and buy the one you really want. Don't settle. Don't settle for that job. If you've got 3 or 4 jobs you're looking at and you've got 3 or 4 offers, don't settle. Get the one you really want, whatever it might be, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. A lot of people settle for things and they regret it later. Some people buy it, walk out of the store, and before they get to their truck, they're like, man, why did I buy this? Don't be that guy. I've been that guy before, with gun purchases and some gear purchases. I knew what I really wanted, but that money was burning a hole in my pocket to spend it. Just put it up, put it in the safe, whatever, if it's cash, whatever it is, and save up and get what you really, really, really want. Or the, custom, if you want to customize a particular gun, get it done the way you want it. Don't be like, well, if I save $100, I'll shortcut it here, shortcut it there. And then once it's all done, you're like, oh shit, why did I do this? It looks like crap. So just plan accordingly. You've probably seen mine, Big Brodema. He said, in your honor, I bought an 870 tactical and I installed an orange mag pull stock and 4-end. Have you seen my Mossberg 590A1? It has an orange stock and an orange 4-end, and it has for 5 years, and that's the way I run it. So yeah, they're great. They're great pistols, or great shotguns. I'm sorry. And the 870s, hell, I have an 870 too. I just don't shoot it very much. Let's see here. Ooh, Rabbi is saying, who is your favorite reviewer? Man, do I have a favorite where I can't ever miss one of their videos? I try to support people like friends and people that I know and that I trust. I know Honest Outlaw. Of course, I know Humble Marksman. I know Threat Cadre. Threat Cadre, I don't want to give away too much, but he's been in it. Let's just say that. He's been there and done that. Okay. So I trust a lot of things that he says. I really do it to support everybody. I don't know if I have a favorite. Some people, you'll watch it and I own the same gun or the same piece of gear, and I'm like, nope, you're not speaking facts, or you're not speaking the truth. We all know some people do that, and I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying some people, I think, get infatuated with the gear or their purchase, and they're so excited about their purchase, they think it's the best in the world. So, I've said this for, God, 5 and 6 years. I've been messing with guns since I was 5 or 6. I say take everything with a grain of salt. I say, you can watch all these different reviews, and I'll also say don't just watch one reviewer on one product that you're looking for. Look at multiple reviews. Also, if they sent them that product, I'm not saying that they're going to lie, because I get products sent to me all the time, and I'll tell you if it's good or bad. But I would say do your homework and do research and check other reviewers, whether they sent it to them or they bought it or whatever. Because I've seen it the other way, where it's a piece of crap and the person that bought it is invested in it. Like they spent $1,000 on it, so it damn well better be good. And that's the way they're going to put it across. So, sometimes my saying is that, don't pick specs out of fly shit. Okay. However, when it comes to some reviews, pick the specs out of the fly shit, because you need to have an educated decision before you go in. Also, when you go into gun stores, do not let them tell you what to buy. Some gun stores get spiffs. They even win free guns. And I will tell you who gives away free guns is Glock. So if you go into a Glock store or a gun store, they can say, hey, it's my first gun, I'm looking for it. And they'll be like, oh, you need a Glock. And they'll take you straight to the Glock store. I proved it when I went into gun stores that weren't local to me. They didn't know me. I just went in and played the new gun owner. I'm looking for my first gun. What do you recommend? Oh, you got to get a Glock. Now, I have said this also. Every person should own a Glock because of the compatibility across the board for SHTF. If anything happens, everybody has Glock parts. Everybody has Glock mags. Everybody has a way to fix a Glock. Not everybody has a way to fix a Staccato or whatever it might be. So everybody should own at least one Glock, preferably a 9mm, because that's the most common. But just do your homework. Things that I say aren't set in stone. It's an opinion. Things that some other person said, it's their opinion as well. So just, do research. Make sure it's what you want. Put it in your hand. Shoot it if you can. Rent it and shoot it. Test it. You've got a friend who owns it. Shoot theirs. I've let numerous people shoot my guns before. They're like, oh, I'm thinking about buying this. And I'm like, I've got it. Why don't you just come shoot it? And then they'll shoot it and they're like, oh, yeah, it's really not for me. And I'm like, there you go. Now you know. Yeah. Rabbi's saying, which one is my favorite subscriber? Y'all are all family. Oh, viewer. I'm sorry. I thought he said reviewer. I'm sorry. All of y'all are my favorite. I can't love everybody. Or I can't just love one person. I gotta love everybody. Yeah, honest and humble are great reviewers. I mean, a lot of people are really good reviewers. So, and Uncle Dan, I love Uncle Dan. And I talk to Uncle Dan probably 2 or 3 times a week, because his profession, like when I'm driving for a long time, I'm able to call him. Sometimes he answers if he can. We'll just shoot the crap. So he's a really good guy. I've known him for 5 or 6 years. Yeah, and another thing that bothers me is, or it really doesn't bother me, but like when a person buys a gun or a piece of gear and they want me to validate it for them. And I'm not here to validate your purchases. I can give opinions on it. And some I've said, I don't really care for that piece of gear or that particular gun. And then they get mad at me, because I didn't validate what they purchased. I purchase what I want, and I'm not asking for anybody's validation. I don't buy a gun and go, hey, what do you think? Did I make a bad decision? Did I make a good decision? I don't do that. I'm not that guy. Also, you know that I don't buy guns or gears just for reviews or for views, like the hottest, newest thing. If I don't want it in my collection and I'm not going to shoot it, I'm not going to buy it. So that's the way I am. But, like I said, to each their own. Yeah, I've gotten Taurus hate before too. I get a lot of SIG hate because I'm not a SIG fanboy. I've had multiple SIGs fail. Y'all probably know I've talked about it time and time and time again. And I'm not bashing SIG owners do not take it that way. Okay, but I've had a lot of SIG hate. I can't believe you said that about SIG. I'm like, SIG hates me. You could call SIG and tell them my name and my address, and they would pull up my records of repairs and decline repairs that were still under warranty. And they would be like, yep, we hate that guy. So, sea bass. Yeah. You know, like I said, I'm not trying to make any enemies, but we all have our likes and dislikes. You know, I like orange. Some people hate orange. I like particular cars and trucks. Some people hate those. It's an opinion. They're like assholes. Everybody has one. Yeah, I mean that's true. You know, like I said, it's just we can't make everybody happy. And also, I'm not a coddler. I'm not going to, oh, it's okay. You know, I'm just not that guy. So, you know, I try to love everybody, but you get on my bad side and you might stay there. And I agree with that, Armsman. I do agree with that. Yep. SIG metal guns, good to go. Especially the German ones back in the day, good to go. Not a big fan of some of the stuff they're doing now. Yep. Russell's got him a Glock 43X. Next, Glock 19. Yeah, and I'm not a Glock fanboy. I've actually told a lot of people I am not a Glock fan, but I own two of them. I'm not the Glock fanboy. You know, actually, I do really like CZ. I've put. I've got books at home where I keep all my logs. I don't carry it on the road with me, so I don't want to quote you bullshit rounds. But I try to tell you all the facts. But every time I take a gun to the range, I carry the notebook for it, and I document what ammo I'm putting through it. Now, I will say this: after about 5,000 rounds, and it's proven itself, I usually don't write anything else in that book. But the first Staccato C2 had 5,110 rounds. I pulled up the thing and talked to Staccato before the frame took a shit and warped. The second Staccato C2 that they replaced it with has over 5,000 rounds, and it's been bulletproof. Thing's been incredible. P has over 5,000 rounds. It's bulletproof. MPA has over 5,000. Well, no, the MPA, I think it's like 3,000 rounds or 3,500 rounds, something like that. It is in the threes, might be the high threes. It's been incredible. I mean, I do bookmark everything, so I'm not feeding you a line of shit. But and you can go back and see how long I've been shooting these guns. That I didn't just buy them last week, and then mysteriously I'm putting out a video next week, and I hate that shit. Where people are like, I've had this gun for 3 weeks, and I put 4,000 rounds through it. I call horseshit. I've seen those kind of videos, and you can look. I can't do that, but you can look at a gun, any gun. I don't care if it's a custom gun, and the barrel smiles. You can look at the extractor. You can look at a lot of things, and I can physically tell if you've really put at least 3,000 rounds through that gun. And some of these have absolutely no barrel smiles, no hood wear, no nothing. And I call bullshit on that. And the guy's showing it on the video, and I'm like, no, you're full of shit. That's like 100 rounds, dude. But anyway, let people do what they're going to do. Yeah. Well, a feed ramp, you can polish a feed ramp. You can actually hit it with fits and a Dremel, and you can polish it, and you can make them look brand new. So there's little tricks you can do there. But when it comes to hood wear, barrel wear, once it's there, unless you recoat the barrel, it ain't going away. Yeah, and you can sand it too. There's a lot of things you can do, but anyway. But oh yeah, and the other ones where it's a really, really, really budget gun, super budget gun, and we know the brand that I'm talking about. Um, I put 3,000 rounds through mine, never had a failure. I'm like, okay. And I'm not saying it's you haven't, but mm, it could be coming, or it might not. It might last. So, but anyway, so it's 8:30, so we went 30 minutes over, and I appreciate it so much. But after the chat, when this shuts off, if y'all want to go back and put, some guns or whatever you think I should let them shoot, remember, 3 of them have never shot a pistol in their life. 1 of them has never shot a rifle, pistol, or shotgun. I'm not going to open up a shotgun to that person at all. Not for their first time. And all my shotguns are 12 gauge, so I don't think she would appreciate that. And 90% of the ammo is either buckshot or slugs. I have very, very limited, because I have other bird shot for my bird guns. But I'm not going to bring a big old long ass bird gun to an indoor range. So we're not getting the shotguns this time, but I'll go back and, after this shuts off, if you want to go back and watch it and put what y'all think I should take, I would appreciate that. I kind of have an idea, but y'all might be like, hey, you need to take this. And I'll be like, oh crap, I didn't even think about that gun. So, but I want them to, there is a high end one that's going to be involved, a pistol, because I want them to feel it and get the whole, so I'll probably bring the MPA, for that or something like that, so they can kind of feel how that works. But so that probably will be one that's going to be back at the range. But anyway, I appreciate it so much. When is that video going to air? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. These aren't the kind of people that want to be on video. I'm just going to be honest with you. I can give a summary, but they are not the video type people. So I might make them all turn around so you just see their backs and maybe shoot a picture or something like that. Or maybe do a video where it's not showing their face and we're just showing the guns being shot. I want them, I don't do it. I'm not going to do it without their permission, but I'm not going to show their face, because these are in-laws. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, these are in-laws, and I've brought them to our side. They are not accomplished shooters. They're probably going to shoot really bad groups. They're probably going to make, some mistakes and try to do some kind of teacup shit. And I'm going to get all that corrected. But I'm just saying, I don't want anybody to go on and just start ripping them apart like people will, because everybody in the world is a professional shooter. We all know that. I get it. I'm thick-skinned. I can take it. But I don't want them. They didn't sign up for that. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not gonna do that to them. I don't really show my family. I've shown my wife from the back, my kid from the back, but I don't really show faces and things like that. I just keep all that private. So, that's just me. But so yeah, Brian, as far as having a video, and I think they would agree to do this, where the camera is just kind of sitting there, maybe facing down range, and I'm asking them, hey, here's the MPA. I'm showing y'all the MPA. Y'all will be able to see the gun. And I'm going to say, what's your opinion on this? I'm not going to say their name, but I'll say, what's your opinion? And they can talk. I just don't want to interview them with their face. So, that's just me. But yeah, and I mean, I can always do an after, I can even take notes, of the guns that they liked, the ones they disliked, the recoil that scared the hell out of them, the recoil that didn't scare the hell out of them. I can jot down some notes, kind of an aftermath, so to say, or an after action report, like what he said. So maybe we'll do something like that. They'll all be Staccato shooters. I have a feeling that the dad is going to he is going to start wearing me out. Oh my God, I got to get that gun. Oh my God, you got to spend more time with me. Oh my God, we got to go to the range. I think he is going to be hooked. I think that's what's going to happen. Matter of fact, his wife could be hooked. Um, this could create 3 more people to really go down that rabbit hole. And I'm going to help them and make sure they do it correctly. But yeah, I think I could be creating 2 monsters for sure. Um, maybe her, not so much, but I think this is going to be a good thing. So I'm really looking forward to it. But I appreciate y'all so much. And like I said, if you want to leave comments after the chat, please hit that thumbs up, do all that stuff. If you're interested in the Armsman holsters, at the top of this, and there'll be a link after this video where you can use my code. I'm not getting paid. You can use my code and save 10% off any of your holsters, any of your orders, and he'll give free shipping with my code, which is very generous of him to do that. He's just doing it for my subscribers. So that's awesome. You know, we want to have everybody in great holsters and be safe. So there you go. But I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. And remember, an armed nation is a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all take care.